There is a kind of strength no weight can build, no metal can measure, and no mirror can reflect. It lives within. It's not the roar of muscles or the flash of wealth. It's the quiet resilience of the mind. In the most challenging moments, when storms rage and hope flickers, some people rise, not because life is easier for them, but because their habits make them stronger from within. Mentally strong people are not born, they are built. And they are built through choices, through discipline, and through daily habits. Today I want to walk you through 6 habits that mentally strong people do every day. These are not just strategies, they are life principles. Adopt them, and you will see yourself grow not only in power, but in peace, clarity, and confidence. There is a distinct difference between the person who is ruled by emotion and the one who rules over it. Life will not ask for permission before it strikes. It will not knock politely before delivering pain, disappointment, or fear. But what separates the mentally strong from the masses is not the absence of these storms. It is their posture within them. They do not pretend the skies are clear when thunder rolls. They do not fake joy when sorrow calls. They feel deeply, truly, honestly. But they do not surrender their power to feeling. They understand a truth most ignore. Emotion is a visitor, not a master. When anger arrives, they do not erupt. When fear knocks, they do not flee. When despair whispers, they do not accept its lies. Instead, they breathe, they observe. They pause before the storm takes hold of their mouth, their decisions, their future. That pause, small as it seems, is a fortress of strength. Within it lies discipline, maturity, clarity. They have trained themselves to recognize that not every emotion needs a reaction, not every thought deserves expression, and not every trigger must ignite a fire. To master emotion is not to silence it, it is to understand it. It is to listen to what it teaches without allowing it to lead. It is the ability to feel sadness and still show up, to experience rage and still speak with grace. It is the strength to grieve without losing gratitude, and the courage to feel fear without forfeiting faith. Mentally strong people live in that sacred space between stimulus and response, not because they are robotic or detached, but because they are free. There is power in emotional awareness. A person who does not know their own inner world is like a ship with no compass, tossed and turned by every wave. But the one who knows their triggers, their patterns, their pain points, they steer their vessel, even through storms. They may bend, but they do not break. Because they've built a knife, anchor within, a calm so deep, even chaos can't reach it. Consider the man who spent years in a concentration camp, stripped of his freedom, his family, his dignity. Yet he discovered the last of human freedoms, the ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. That is not philosophy. That is truth forged in fire. Mentally strong people live by that principle every day. They take the space between what happens and how they respond, and they make it a sanctuary of intention. We live in a world that glorifies reaction. Outrage is celebrated. Emotional outbursts are paraded like trophies. But beneath the noise lies another way, a quieter, steadier strength, a choice. To master your emotions is to reclaim your life. It is to refuse to be ruled by the external and to become sovereign within. That is not weakness. That is the highest form of power. There is a great lie that has silently corrupted the lives of many. The belief that to be kind, you must always say yes. But the truth is far more empowering. Those who succeed, those who rise, those who truly live with peace and purpose are not the ones who please everyone. They are the ones who protect their time, their focus, and their values with unwavering clarity. Mentally strong people understand this truth with unshakable conviction. They know that setting boundaries is not a betrayal. It is a bold declaration of self-respect. When you learn to say no to the things that drain you, you say yes to your growth, your goals, your peace of mind. And that no is not cruel. It is courageous. It is the act of standing guard at the gates of your energy. It is choosing intentional living over chaotic survival. Mentally strong individuals do not scatter themselves thin across 100 tasks that are not aligned with their purpose. They do not attend every event, answer every call, or accommodate every demand that knocks at their door. Instead, they ask themselves, does this serve my mission? Does this reflect my values? Will this elevate or deplete me? And if the answer is no, they walk away, not with guilt, but with grace. Too many people spend years building lives that serve everyone but themselves. They become prisoners of approval, addicted to validation, starving for rest, yet unable to say the word that could set them free. Saying yes to everyone else's expectations often means saying no to your own potential. That is not nobility. It is self-neglect. You were not born to be everything to everyone. You were born to become everything you were meant to be. And that path requires fierce focus, not constant compromise. Look at those who have achieved great impact. Study their lives and you'll see a pattern. They protect their boundaries like sacred ground. One such example is a woman who once found herself depleted from endlessly trying to be everything for everyone. Her name is now recognized across the world. Yet she began her career trapped in the same cycle of overextension that binds millions. But the moment she gave herself permission to say no, everything changed. Her energy returned, her voice sharpened, her vision became clearer, and the world did not punish her for her boundaries. It respected her for them. Boundaries are not walls built from bitterness. They are lines drawn from clarity. They do not isolate, they illuminate. They reveal who and what is truly aligned with your journey. They ensure that what fills your days also feeds your dreams. And those who cannot accept your boundaries were never meant to shape your destiny. Mental strength is not only measured by what you endure, it is measured by what you refuse to allow. Protect your peace. Protect your energy. Protect your mission. Because in doing so, you are not just saving time, you are saving yourself. Comfort is a silent thief. It lulls you into routines that feel safe, but steal your future. It whispers, stay here, don't try, don't risk. And before you know it, a month becomes a year, and a year becomes a life unlived. The mentally strong do not fall for that lie. They have learned often through pain and persistence that growth never resides in the cozy corners of predictability. It waits just beyond the edge, where fear meets action, where risk meets effort, where discomfort becomes the doorway to power. They do not seek discomfort for the sake of suffering, but because they understand its hidden reward. Just like a muscle grows, not by rest, but by resistance. The mind becomes sharper, and the soul becomes braver only when pressure is applied. A person who avoids challenge avoids transformation. But those who willingly walk into the fire emerge with something far more valuable than ease. They emerge with strength, clarity, resilience. Think about the times in your life when you felt truly alive. It wasn't when everything was easy. It wasn't when you were sitting still. It was when your heart was racing, your palms sweating, your doubts screaming. But you moved forward anyway. That is where the mentally strong live, not because they are fearless, but because they've stopped allowing fear to dictate their direction. They understand that public speaking isn't just about giving a speech, it's about finding your voice. Starting a business isn't just about making money. It's about believing in your ideas when no one else does. Healing from heartbreak isn't just about moving on. It's about discovering how deeply you can love yourself when someone else couldn't. They see discomfort as a compass, pointing toward their next breakthrough. When something scares them, they lean in. When something challenges their confidence, they rise to meet it. And when something threatens to expose their weaknesses, they take it as a chance to strengthen them instead. It's not always graceful, it's not always pretty, but it is real, and it is powerful. Research backs this truth. A study from the University of Chicago found that people who deliberately engaged in uncomfortable learning situations, giving speeches, tackling unfamiliar subjects, stepping into awkward conversations, grew significantly more than those who didn't. Discomfort, it turns out, is not a punishment. It's a signal. It's the body and mind saying, you are on the edge of something new. The mentally strong don't chase perfection, they chase progress. And progress is often ugly at first. You'll stumble, you'll doubt yourself, you'll want to turn back. But if you keep going, something remarkable happens. You change, you rise, you realize that discomfort didn't destroy you, it built you. There will always be two paths, one that feels easy and one that demands more than you think you can give. The first will keep you where you are, the second will take you where you're meant to be. The choice is yours. But remember this, no one ever reached greatness by staying comfortable. In an age where people crave overnight success and immediate rewards, it takes rare strength to walk the slower, steeper path toward a distant goal. The mentally strong understand that greatness is never delivered quickly. It is earned patiently. They are not chasing applause after every step. They are not measuring the value of their efforts by instant results. Instead, they plant their vision like a seed in the soil, and they tend to it every single day, even when nothing has yet broken through the surface. The world often confuses speed with achievement, but speed without direction is chaos. Real power lies in staying true to a purpose even when the rewards are delayed. The mentally strong know this. They are the ones who build when others are still dreaming. They are the ones who endure when others get bored. They are the ones who keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because they've made a decision. And that decision is stronger than their doubt. There will always be moments when the work feels unnoticed. The effort feels unrewarded. The path feels lonely. But mentally strong people do not crumble under silence. They do not abandon their mission because the world hasn't yet noticed them. They understand that the process is part of the prize. That who you become in pursuit of your goal is just as important as the goal itself. They trade the temptation of quitting for the discipline of showing up. Not once, not twice, but as many times as it takes. Remember the man who failed over 1,000 times before lighting the world with a single idea. He did not see failure as defeat, but as data. Every setback was a step forward in disguise. That is the mindset of strength, where consistency becomes more powerful than talent, and discipline becomes the bridge between desire and destiny. You can see it in the athlete, who trains at dawn while the rest of the world sleeps, in the writer who fills page after page, even when the words don't yet shine, in the entrepreneur who builds quietly, brick by brick, with no spotlight and no cheering crowd. What drives these people is not some magical gift, but a decision to keep going when it would be easier to stop. Too many people abandon their dreams the moment results lag behind effort. They expect the harvest without honoring the season of planting. But the mentally strong know that true rewards come to those who are willing to wait, to sweat, to struggle, and to stay. They are not seduced by quick wins because they are committed to lasting success. Every day you move forward, even just a little, is a victory. Every time you resist the urge to give up, you build endurance. Every time you take action without applause, you strengthen your character. That is what separates those who finish from those who merely start. And in that quiet, persistent, unshakable commitment, the future is shaped. Not in flashes of glory, but in the invisible hours no one sees. There is no faster way to kill your joy, your momentum, your self-worth, than to place your life beside someone else's and measure your value against their story. Yet that's what millions do, quietly, constantly, and destructively. They scroll, they watch, they compare. And with each passing glance, they forget who they are and where they're headed. But the mentally strong, they rise above it. They do not look to the left or right for validation. They keep their eyes fixed forward, because they understand. A truth that changes everything. Someone else's success is not your failure. To compare your beginning to someone else's middle is a form of self-sabotage. It is to discredit your own journey in exchange for a version of reality that isn't even real. Social media, the billboards, the highlight reels. They show the polished product, not the sleepless nights, the breakdowns, the sacrifices, and yet we believe what we see. We convince ourselves that we're falling behind because someone else is ahead. But ahead in what? In appearance, in status, in likes? These things do not measure purpose. They do not determine peace. And they certainly do not define fulfillment. The mentally strong refuse to be distracted by illusion. They do not resent the success of others. They celebrate it, knowing it takes nothing away from their own potential. They understand that envy is a poison you drink, hoping it will hurt someone else. But it only corrodes your own spirit. So they turn their gaze inward, where the real battle lies. They ask themselves, am I better than I was yesterday? That is the only competition that matters. Think of the artist who nearly quit because others had more followers, more recognition, more praise. But instead of giving up, she stepped back. She reminded herself why she began. She focused on improving her craft, not chasing clout. And in time, the world caught up to her work, not because she begged for attention, but because she mastered her lane. This is the power of staying centered. When you pour energy into your growth instead of your comparison, progress becomes inevitable. Comparison blinds you to your blessings. It tells you you're lacking when you are actually building. It convinces you you're late when, in truth, you're simply in a different season. Mentally strong people know that timing is personal. They trust the rhythm of their life, even when it doesn't match the beat of others. They do not let the noise of someone else's journey drown out the music of their own. Every hour you spend comparing is an hour stolen from creating, from learning, from evolving. You weren't born to be a copy of anyone. You were born to carve a path only you can walk. That path might be slower, messier, quieter, but it is yours. And there is immense power in that ownership. Let others run their race, you run yours. Because fulfillment is not found in being the best. It is found in being authentic. And there is no one on earth better equipped to be you than you. When life breaks you open, when plans fall apart, when nothing makes sense, that is when your mindset is tested. In those raw, aching moments, most people surrender to bitterness. They ask, why me? They curse their luck, their timing, their fate. But the mentally strong choose a different question. What can this teach me? They understand a power that few recognize. Gratitude, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. You see, anyone can be grateful when things are going well. When the money flows, the love is steady, the sky is clear. Gratitude comes easy. But that is not strength. That is convenience. True power lies in the ability to look into the face of adversity and still whisper, thank you. Not because the pain is pleasant, but because it holds meaning. Mentally strong people don't wait for life to be perfect before they give thanks. They find the gold buried within the mess. They mine their hardships for hidden wisdom. They believe that even in the darkest tunnels, there is something worth holding on to. This mindset doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from disciplined perspective. Gratitude is not about pretending that everything is fine. It's not about denying the hurt. It's about choosing not to let the hurt define you. It's the act of placing your attention not on what's missing, but on what remains. It's about turning your eyes even briefly toward the small lights that still burn around you. There was once a man who lost everything. His business collapsed, his marriage dissolved, and his health took a devastating turn. For months, he was consumed by grief, until one morning, he picked up a pen and forced himself to write down 3 things he could still be grateful for. At first, the list was painfully small. I'm still breathing. I have a roof. My hands still work. But day after day, as he kept writing, something changed. His list grew. His spirit began to lift. Slowly, his mind reoriented. He didn't fix everything overnight, but he reclaimed the one thing that changed everything, his outlook. Science confirms what the wise have known for centuries. Studies from Harvard show that practicing daily gratitude, just 3 small notes of thanks, can physically rewire the brain. Neural pathways shift. Optimism increases. Resilience strengthens. It's not magic. It's mindset. And the mentally strong master this mindset through repetition, not reaction. They build gratitude into their daily lives so that when hard times come, and they always do, they are already anchored. Gratitude in hard times doesn't erase the struggle, but it gives it shape. It reminds you that you are more than your circumstances. It pulls you out of the spiral of self-pity and plants your feet firmly in purpose. It is the voice that says, "This moment is hard, but I am still here. I am still capable. I am still growing." And when you train yourself to see blessings in the broken pieces, you don't just survive difficulty. You rise from it stronger, wiser, and more alive. Mentally strong people are not superhuman. They're simply intentional. These 6 habits, emotional mastery, boundaries, embracing discomfort, long-term commitment, independence from comparison, and deep gratitude, are available to anyone willing to practice them. You don't need to control everything around you. You only need to start controlling what's within you. That's where true strength lives. And the moment you decide to build these habits, you begin becoming unstoppable.